Imagine you're in space, watching three massive planets orbit each other. You try to predict where they'll go next, but their movements seem completely unpredictable no matter how many calculations you run. That's the essence of the three body problem, one of the biggest challenges in physics and astronomy. Alpine currently have their own three body problem, but instead of planets, these bodies are Jet Doohan, Franco Colapinto, and Paul Aron. These drivers will be orbiting each other around the Endstone factory, doing sim work, speaking to engineers, and ultimately trying to secure themselves the future of that second Alpine seat alongside Pierre Gasly. This all started when Alpine announced the return of Flavio Briatore in May of 2024 after a few disastrous seasons on the track for the French outfit. Flavio has a controversial but successful legacy in Formula One, so it was no surprise to see the team revert to steady hands during calamitous times. He joined Enstone-based Benetton originally in 1989 alongside other key F1 figures such as Ross Brawn and Pat Symonds and transformed it into a competitive force. Signing Michael Schumacher and winning the successive 1994 and 1995 titles before the team crumbled into the late 1990s and Briatore was dismissed. At the turn of the century, Flavio returned to F1 to the Enstone team after its branding change to Renault, and in a similar style, he signed then youngster Fernando Alonso, winning back-to-back seasons in 05 and 06 before being banned for life by the FIA for Crashgate. Since then, he won an appeal to overturn his ban and has served as a driver manager as well as an advisor to teams and personnel alike. This has left him with a legacy of being a brilliant but brutal F1 figure with a keen eye for talent, nurturing two separate world champions' careers. Now he's being brought back to Alpine. He'll be looking to replicate the success of his two previous stints, and part of that requires a competitive, world-class driver lineup. When Flavio joined Alpine, their driver lineup was Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, both solid drivers, both race winners, both known quantities, both out of contract for 2025, both up for evaluation by Flavio. This didn't start well at all. Within Briatore's first month at the team, Ocon had moved down the inside of his teammate Gasly at the Monaco Grand Prix, which ruined both of their races. This led to Briatore threatening to drop Ocon for a race as punishment, which did not materialise. What did materialise though was Gasly signing a 2-year contract extension and Ocon being dropped the following season less than a month after the incident. And I didn't hate this move. It opened an opportunity for Alpine to cement one of their young drivers in the team during the 2025 season before the regulation changes in 2026. Ultimately, Alpine are probably aware they don't have a competitive car until the new regulations come in, and so this made sense. In August of 2024, Alpine announced two key signings. Firstly, Oliver Oakes would join the team with immediate effect from the high-tech Formula 2 outfit. Secondly, that Jet Doohan would drive for the team in 2025. Given the lack of team principal at the time, it appears that both these decisions were made by team advisor Flavio Briatore. This seems like smooth sailing, until the arrival of a driver in September shocked the world. Williams, a rival F1 team, dropped Logan Sargent mid-season and promoted their own rookie, Franco Colapinto, into their team. Franco had a strong debut, scoring points in 2 of his first 4 races, and then had a quiet end of the season, retiring in 3 of the next 5 races, scoring no more points that season. Despite this, Flavio had seen enough, and although there were rumours of a Red Bull switch, Colapinto was on his way to Alpine as a reserve driver. At this time, it emerged that Jack Doohan, the selected 2025 Alpine driver, had clauses in his contract that allowed termination a few races into the season, dependent on his individual performance. To add even more onto this, Alpine had added another reserve driver into its pool in the shape of Paul Aron, 3rd place in the 2024 F2 season that year, and arguably performing better in the same machinery than Franco Colapinto, their new boy. Aron arrived from High-Tech, new team principal Oliver Oakes' old F2 team, and had the best CV of the 3 drivers, originally being a Mercedes junior driver before the arrival of prodigy Kimi Antonelli into the Mercedes pack. This sets the scene of where we are at currently. We have 3 drivers, all very similar ages and experience, all signed to Alpine, looking to secure themselves the long-term Alpine seat. My question is, in this unpredictable 3-body problem, which driver should get the seat, which driver will get the seat, and is it fair to put young drivers in this position in the first place under this much pressure? Let's start by analysing the 3 drivers' performance over the last few seasons. The current driver, Jack Doohan, Australian, he is currently 22, older than Colapinto by half a year and older than Aron by a full year. He has been a junior at the team ever since he left the Red Bull stable at the end of 2021, after securing a second place finish in FIA Formula 3. Before that point, he had an underwhelming single-seater career, coming 26th in F3 in 2020 and 11th in Euro Formula Open the year before that. Jack was a late bloomer in single series though, and once he switched to Alpine and stepping up to Formula 2 in 2022, he came 6th and then 3rd the year after, before taking 2024 off to focus on his development plan, testing old Alpine cars, doing sim work, and stepping in for practice sessions when needed, as well as the last race of the 2024 F1 season. And then we have Colapinto, the Argentinian burst onto the European scene in 2019 after becoming champion of Spanish F4, where he earned a promotion into Formula Regional Eurocup, where he came 3rd. After that, it was time for Frecker to do the traditional route to Formula 3, where he came 6th, earning a 2022 F3 spot. Consecutive F3 pre-seasons paid off as he came 9th and then 4th, before joining Williams Academy in 2023 and stepping up to F2 the following year. Although only completing 2/3 of the season, he still managed to retain 9th place in the 2024 F2 season, although it did seem he was on track for 5th place at least during the season. Lastly, there is Paul Aron, who has come 3rd in everything since 2020. 3rd F2 2024, 3rd F3 2023, 3rd Frecker 2022, 3rd in Frecker again the year before that. He even got a 3rd in Italian F4 in 2019, only being let down by an 11th place in 2020 Formula Regional Eurocup. He's a top-class driver, adjusting easily to any series that he's joined. Comparing these 3 drivers gives us no real indication on which one is better or has the higher potential. While Colapinto may have done well in the stint in F1, Aron and Doohan have both finished P3 in F2, something that didn't look ultimately achievable in Colapinto in his maiden F2 year. Then we have Aron and Doohan, who have both spent a long time in their driver academies, likely giving them access to F1 sims and data to learn and practice sessions. But Colapinto has a 3rd of the F1 season experience. It almost seems impossible to separate them at all. Even when you compare their backing, all have something in their favour. Colapinto hails from Argentina, which boasts a population of 45 million people, and has translated that into popularity. At the time of recording, he has 4.4 million Instagram followers. Doohan and Aron have less than 500,000 each. You would presume the impact on sponsorship, and that seems to be the case, with rumours of large financial packages for whoever takes on Colapinto, something neither Doohan or Aron can seem to offer from what I've researched. Doohan, on the other hand, has team history and a prestigious F1 standing. His father Mick is a motorcycling legend who was besties with Michael Schumacher, someone Briatore helped into F1. Schumacher, in fact, gave Jack his first go-kart and named his son after Jack's dad. Jack has connections and has been at the team the longest, likely having the best relationship with people in the team, for now at least. And then there is the dark horse, Paul Aron, who in my opinion has looked the best on track. From what I have seen watching F2 for the last 4 years, Aron has been one of the brightest lights in the series' whole history, and is also a very strong connection with current team boss Oliver Oakes, something the other two don't have. This is a headache for anyone, and likely putting a lot of pressure on all 3 drivers to perform whenever they get an opportunity, whether that be on track, at a test, or in the sim. What I would love to see is Jack be given a fair shot, at least 10 races, before any decision is made, and the performance evaluation must be against his teammate and nobody else. If it's purely based on point scoring, and if Gasly isn't scoring points either, it is just unfair on Jack. Regardless, I still think Jack will be happy with this opportunity, as we've seen a lot of other previous F2 drivers just not given a shot at F1. If he does perform, I think Alpine must keep him. They can't afford to let one driver settle, have that driver do well, and then waste time that could be scoring valuable constructors points letting Colapinto or Aron settle. If a decision is made, I would like to see Aron join. From murmurs in the paddock, it appears Williams have a buyback clause inserted into Michael Colapinto's contract, and as Alpine are a constructor pushing for the title, they can't afford to develop a driver who will just get poached by another team. Put Aron in, someone who looks sharper in equal machinery, a younger driver, 100% your own driver, and let him rock. But that is only if Jack doesn't perform in the first place. Now, what I expect to happen is this. Jack will be given a couple of races, 5 maximum, to score points. If he doesn't, which looks likely given the kind of direction of the team and how hard it is for rookies to settle, he'll be ousted from the most popular Colapinto. Briatore will argue that he gave Jack a fair shot, letting him have his home race and argue that he just isn't fast enough for Formula 1, when in reality he has just killed a talented driver's career and put him on the shelf alongside the Fittipaldis, Latifis and Mick Schumachers of Formula 1 racing. By the time Colapinto is in the car and settled, the car would have been developed and he'll have a couple of good races and justify Flavio's decision to end a kid's dream. Aron will be lost alongside other F1 hopefuls like Porsche and Drogovic and be lost to time to eventually rot in WEC or Formula E. At the end of the day, 2 of these 3 drivers will be disappointed and think what could have been if they were given a fair chance. The problem is you can't give all of these drivers a fair chance. There just aren't enough seats in Formula 1. So fair play to Alpine for trusting youth in the first place and not putting in Perez, Bottas, Ricciardo or some other stopgap of a driver who's just going to put the car in the right place for now. It is just the harsh reality and brutal nature of Formula 1 business as a whole that these kids likely won't get equal shots. Honestly, anything could happen. Formula 1 and Flavio Briatore are both so chaotic that any of these 3 drivers might just find themselves the long-time driver and future of Alpine's team. They could win the Alpine 3-body problem, but that is what makes Formula 1 and live sport in general so exciting. There is so much uncertainty and we'll never know what's going to happen next. Until next time, I've been Harrison Tippett on Motorsport. You, as always, have been a fantastic audience. Peace.